We do not have any changes to the agenda.
All right. In your packet, you were emailed the meeting minutes for September 26th. I'm hoping that you had a chance to review those. And if so, would you like to make any revisions or amendments to those minutes?
I had no changes.
No changes.
All
No
right.
changes.
Okay, with that, I'll ask for a motion to approve the meeting minutes for September 26th. All in favor, say aye.
Second.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting minutes are approved. We'll move on to the NBART members' informational briefings. Anything we need to discuss? Looking at all your cheery faces, I see not. So let's get on to staff update.
Hi, Gwen here today. I'm filling in for Shannon. Staff update. Well, there are some new ADU laws going into effect in January. I haven't really taken a good look at them yet, but I just have heard that they are further streamlining ADUs. I know you guys don't see ADUs, but just, it's just additional development we'll be seeing in the county. I think a big takeaway from these new laws is that approvals have to be within 60 days. So from the time the application is submitted. So, in North County, it's building permit application. They have to be approved within 60 days. Let's see, other things, I know that there's like a planning commission workshop coming up, and I meant to try to find the date of that before this meeting so I could tell you all, and I just didn't get a chance to do that. But I think that the workshop is related to BARs and processing of applications and like housing things. So I thought that might be interesting. So during the meeting today, I'll look at that, and if I can find the date of it, I'll let you all know. Okay, that's all I have.
Great, thank you.
Gwen, could you speak to that apartment that got approved at the Palmerston property?
I can't, but I can look into it while we're having the meeting. Do you have the address or like case name? I don't remember which one that is.
I don't. It was one that came to us a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
And the article I read said 99 units, and I don't remember it being that big.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's so that's probably Key Site H then. That's the one in Orchid, kind of East Orchid.
Yeah.
Down Foster Road. Yeah, I can look
East end of Foster.
Okay, right. Yes. I think that I don't know exactly what you guys looked at, but it was
Increased
approved.
density by taking out the school. That's what I recall.
Okay. Yeah, they ended up, I want to say it's all affordable, or they have some really like unique component that allowed them quite a bit of like density bonus and things like that. So I can look into it and give you an update on whether there's any updates on their application.
Well, I just wanted verification that it was 99 units because I remember it being 50 something when it first came to us.
No, I think you're right. I think it is 99. Yeah, they were able to increase the unit count because of their they had a development agreement with the county. So they had it was through the development agreement, and I think also through density bonus. They were allowed to do that because of all the affordable units they're providing. So
Well,
yeah, you are correct.
I think, Gwen, also they, from what I understand, they eliminated the preschool.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you probably
Removed
know
it
more.
and increased the density.
One that they had on site?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that was what I think I read on that, but check into that. It would be interesting to know.
Yeah, I can try to give you an update on the permit.
That was the 3-story thing right next to the guy's yard there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one too.
Yeah, with no parking because it's close to a bus stop.
Yeah. At the end of the street from St. Joseph High School.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Gwen.
Yeah, definitely. I'll see if I can find more information before the end of the meeting.
Great, thank you, Glenn.
Uh-huh.
So we'll move on to the standard agenda for today. Number one, BAR 24-00044, the Verizon on DeWolf Avenue. If the applicant is ready for his presentation, go ahead and introduce yourself for the record and begin.
Good morning, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. My name is Armando Montes with Sequoia Deployment Services, representing the applicant Verizon Wireless. Just a little backstory on this project. This was approved by BAR back on 4/26/24. We got Planning Commission approval back on July 17th, 2024. However, working with flood, we discovered that this project was in a floodplain. So we spent the better part of a year kind of working with them on an acceptable design. And yeah, so just want to get into the redesign now. Verizon's proposing a new wireless telecommunications facility at 2231 DeWolf Avenue in Lompoc. The proposed project is located in the southeastern portion of the property, set back 918 feet and 3 inches from the closest property line to the south and 678 feet and 4 inches to the closest property line to the east. The facility is designed as a 3-sector, 100-foot tall monopole tower, galvanized in a low shine polish with a 12-foot by 20-foot elevated equipment platform located to the west. The elevated platform will be secured by a 7-foot tall chain link fence and 10 slats for privacy. By elevating the enclosure on the platform by 6 feet 11 inches, will ensure that the facility will continue to operate in the event of a catastrophic storm. Lastly, due to the floodplain designation, we are no longer able to propose our ground level PG&E transformer and will now be proposing a new PG&E utility pole within the existing overhead route. The new pole will contain a transformer and a conduit will be routed down the pole to our facility for power. I'm open to any questions you guys may have about the design and the changes we've made.
So with regards to the changes, you elevated the base of it by 7 feet? Is that what you did?
Yes, the equipment platform. The pole is still the same height, the tower is still the same. It's just the equipment enclosure. We've reduced the size of it, but we've elevated it.
And the security fencing, what happened to that?
We have security fencing around the elevated platform itself, but we could not securely enclose the monopole tower. It created an issue with the no rise certification. So we could not put a fence around that.
So you've explored the flood conveyance with flood control,
Yes, yeah, and this design has their support.
even with the 7-foot fence?
Yes, because the fence is not at ground level, it's elevated.
The fence is also elevated?
Yes.
Okay. Given all that, why not find a better location?
I believe anything in this area is has flood concerns. This is an area of need for Verizon. This is
Oh,
a
I
viable-
understand that. I
yeah.
was just thinking you might want to look somewhere on the hillside. It seems like it'd be higher up and it wouldn't be in the floodplain, but whatever.
In your packet, do you have a new elevation of the security
Yeah.
area?
In the drawings, there should be. Sheet A5 shows the elevation. No, these are project photos. The drawings, yes. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Does the board have any questions with regards to the new elevated platform?
Well, it certainly won't be attractive.
And as well with the distance from property lines. Are you anticipating anything underneath that platform? There's no screening proposed or anything? It's just, you're just raising it up 7 feet?
That's correct. Yeah, no, we're not proposing any screening at this
Okay.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
For conveyance.
Right. Okay.
So did I understand you correctly that the top of the pole did not get any higher?
That's correct. Yeah, we're still at 100 feet.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay.
I'm not quite sure I understand the point of the screening fence if it's elevated up 7 feet to screen the container.
Well, I'd imagine, yeah.
It's for security purposes.
All right.
Can you move the plan up so we can see the bottom there?
You want me to zoom in?
No, that's fine.
It looks flimsy.
Okay. All right, you guys are agendized for conceptual review? Is that how you see this?
I believe so. I
Okay.
know we're currently working through an amendment to our original approval. Yeah, I believe this is just conceptual.
All right. With regards to that, does the board have any suggestions for this particular applicant?
Well, my only suggestion would be to consider an alternative location.
All right.
For me, the whole thing just looks really industrial. And I'd like you to consider some alternatives to make it fit into the area a little bit better.
Now, considering that we previously approved what the only change would have been the platform itself.
And the screening fence.
And the screen fence, right? So with that, I work with your planner, talk to staff with regards to the suggestion of relocation. And come back for preliminary.
Understood.
Thank you. So right now we'll move on to agenda item number 2, BR 23-00173, Verizon on Rucker Road. Is the applicant available? And if so, please introduce yourself for the record and begin your presentation.
Michael,
Oh, I'm sorry.
we had she wanted to do a public comment.
Okay, that's fine. I'm
She had
sorry
walked
about that.
outside.
I should have asked. So we'll go back to item number 1 and open up for public comment.
Give me a second, please. Okay, thank you.
Hi, I'm Joy Hoover. I've spoke before the board before. Oh, I'm sorry. Do I need to do something with this? I've spoke before you before. I couldn't be more unprepared to speak on this item actually. Because I just noticed it was on there. I'm concerned that the Board of Supervisors passed an ordinance on February 4th, paving the way for way more cell phone towers in neighborhoods in all over the county. They got rid of CEQA, they got rid of setbacks. I'm just really concerned about this technology because in Europe, there have been scientists that say it's very unsafe. We have a decline in pollinators. We have a decline in wildlife, and you're putting this tower right next to a prison, which is a captive population. So I guess it's going to be interesting to see if that has any effect on the people that are incarcerated there. But I'm here just to speak out against it, and I don't think we should proliferate this technology all over the county without understanding it. I know you guys are just concerned with what it looks like. It does look very industrial. But I'm concerned about the people and the wildlife. So that's why I'm here. Thank you.
I have a quick question for you. You said it was very close to the prison.
Yeah, it's at the end of,
What's the distance, do you know?
I wish I knew. I'm sorry. I
So I
just
think
found
it's
out
about
about
like 3 or
this.
4 miles.
Isn't this the one on D Wolf Road?
Yeah.
Yeah, I looked at it on the map this morning. Looked like the prison was right here. There's a sensitive wetland area. There's like
Well,
a
there's the river.
statuary that the river
Right to
flows
the
down
river.
to. Yeah. So I just came to suddenly speak on this, even though I'm not prepared. I apologize.
No problem. Thank you.
Hang on, I got one comment for you too.
Okay.
This is just kind of a comment in general for
Mhm.
everybody. We're all kind of nervous and worried about some of these cell towers and what potentially harm they could possibly have. And I think we all worry that maybe we're not getting fed the right information, which we obviously know we don't have all of it. But on the brighter side of the whole subject, I would say the majority of these things probably have about a 5-year life left in reality. They're working very vigorously on not needing cell towers anymore. They're working on being able to go directly to the satellites. And so I kind of wonder, I know they got to take care of the coverage on these things and all that, but I think there's technology coming that we're going to probably see the majority of them not needed nearly as much anymore. And so I don't know if they're going to turn them down or turn them off or what's happening, but we happen to be in a unique position to hear some of what's coming down the pike here in the next 5 years or so. So anyway, just as a maybe kind of ease your mind about what's going on out there just a little bit. So, but I don't know what these things are going to do when they have to talk to the satellites. Either the radio wave's got to be a little stronger. So that might be a bigger concern to us than the tower. So
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I just want to, I know I'm not physically there in person, but I just wanted to chime in to just remind everybody that the purpose of NBAR, we have findings and bylaws for NBAR, which include aesthetic review and compatibility with the neighborhood in an architectural aesthetic sense. So I can certainly pass along any concerns I'm hearing right now about telecommunications facilities in general, but that's not feedback that would be incorporated into NBAR's review on these projects. But like I said, as the planner who's taking minutes today, I can pass along concerns and try to share your comments in a more appropriate manner. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to speak on the subject?
No further public comment.
Thank you. Did you get that, Armando?
I did.
All right.
Thank you.
very much. All right, so we'll move on to agenda item number 2, BR 23-00173, the Verizon on Rucker Road. If the applicant is available, please go ahead and state your name for the record and begin your presentation.
Good morning, everyone. Armando is back again. Yeah, so this is Verizon's proposing a new telecommunications facility on the southwest corner of Prisma Road and Rucker Road in Lompoc. Facility will consist of a 50-foot tall faux water tank located in a 900 square foot equipment enclosure. Through our various discussions with this committee, we have settled on the following tower design features. The faux wood of the tank will be painted drift of mist brown and half calf brown. Legs will be a dark brown, and the center hole will be evergreen to best blend with the backdrop of trees. The equipment enclosure will have tan slats for privacy, and the service lights will be directed in a downward position to shield light and will remain unlit unless the event has night work. The project was heard and approved by the Planning Commission on 10/29, and we have made no additional changes since the last time we've met. I'm open for any questions you guys may have.
So with the board's concerns indicated in the minutes, you made no changes to the project or just the location of it?
The location design, it's the exact same from the last time we've met.
Okay.
Armando, I do have a comment on the lighting. You said downward. The dark sky compliance means downward and fully shielded.
Yes, yeah, we have a note on the drawings. I may have misspoken
All
on
right.
that.
Construction documents.
Yeah, I think do we have did they submit the construction docs for this?
Absolutely. These two documents that are up here, what was uploaded.
Okay.
An elevation.
Yeah, she just passed it.
Thoughts?
You could just leave them without number. I didn't even have.
If you scroll down, we get some more elevation sheets.
Yeah, could you go back up 2 pages? There you go. Thank you. So you've indicated a 50-foot tall tower from grade.
Yes,
What is the height as seen from the road?
so I think it should be
Is that
like-
right? In the
We have,
lower
we have the
elevation?
road, we have the road elevation right there, so that is 110 is the top of the street, and we are on the finished grade at 92 feet. So what is that? 18 feet. So we're at like 32 feet from road.
Okay.
My math isn't right. Yeah.
And the supports are all the same as presented earlier?
Yes.
What are the supports? They look like lines on there.
Yeah, can you give us member sizing on the support structure?
Yeah, let me see if I have that information.
Shouldn't that be included in the construction?
I think it's probably on one of the plan sheets.
So the legs are about 4 inches.
About 4 inches. Is that round or square or angle or?
I believe angle. And we typically provide more information on the actual tower drawings in our construction drawings that we submit for building. We don't usually include it with the zoning drawing. So give me 1 second.
We're looking for sizes of the framing.
Well, we got the NFPA signs. We talked about beefing it up a little bit, yeah. Probably is 4-inch pipe, but because pipe's cheaper than tube and
You want
angles
to
won't work, so.
go back up a little bit to the. I guess let's go back to the elevations.
Yeah.
Right there, yeah. Armando, I'm kind of looking for the diameter of the pipe hiding all the cables and then the sizes of the structure, the framing for that platform.
So the legs are 6 inches. STD pipe, standard pipe. The center mass is, what have we got here? The 20-inch center pipe.
Can you show us on the drawings where it says that? Because that looks like a turnbuckle setup to me, looking at the drawings.
Yeah, we have, might be able to email these drawings that I'm looking at. So the zoning drawings, they're not going to have all the tower specs. We have them in our construction drawings that we submit for our building permit. I can send these over so you guys can get a little bit more information about them.
Well, with regards to our purview here and the questions that were asked in previous meetings, that placing the sizing on sheet A5, that would indicate to us what you're proposing would have been helpful. So you're saying you've got 4 6-inch round corners, a 20-inch center,
Mm-hmm.
and then tie rod cross bracing.
Yes. Yeah, we got 3x3 by a 1/4 inch X bracing.
Well, that would be steel angle bracing, not rod bracing.
Unless he's using the angles for the.
No, I'm okay with that, but this is agendized for preliminary and final.
Right.
and, I mean, I'm okay with it on its preliminary, but I think it's lacking a considerable amount of structural detail to be considered final.
Yeah, I mean, one of the original concerns was that the size of the legs in proportion to the size of the tank.
Yeah, and they've gotten thicker. I mean, they went from 4-inch to 6-inch. And that was based on the platform we added to kind of give it a beefier look, to kind of make it look more like a faux water tower, or to sorry, make it look more like a water tower. You know, we've kind of gone back and forth with our structural engineer and the tower drawings people, and this is kind of the thickest design we can go with that will like fit everything that we are trying to adhere to, and to try to ease, you know, your concerns as well.
I did want to ask, Soren, are you online? And are you able to check if he submitted those plans to the CUP case, which would have been available to the public?
Yeah, I can go ahead and double check that. 1 second.
Thank you.
Yeah, Armando, the only way we can review it if it's already been previously submitted for this meeting.
I know we've had concerns about the legs before. I thought we kind of had
Yeah, we
put that
spent a
to
lot of
rest
time
the
discussing
last
that.
time.
Jim King gave you some really good direction, and we can't approve it unless we actually see it. We can only approve based on what we have in front of us.
It does not look like we have those plans in the CUP, the Sella case.
Okay. Thank you for checking on that. So with that said, I mean, just, take another look at the framing. If you can absolutely add some of that detail on these plans for your submittal to give us a pathway to approve it. At this juncture, with the information we have, we can't grant final.
So we're gonna give you guys the construction drawings that are in building for review right now. And
Well, basically,
reschedule it
yeah.
in another 2 months, essentially.
Well, I think, yeah.
Can we not just review the drawings? I mean, we have their public information. I have them right now.
Well, with regards to that, if it wasn't submitted for today's meeting and wasn't made available to the public for review, then we can't comment on them.
Hi, Armando. I just want to chime in here too. Yeah, it's because it's a public hearing and there are just procedures that we have to follow. But we can work with your planner and try to get you on the next hearing if you have the documents already available.
Yeah, I believe there's a December hearing. We can probably get back on for that. I'd have to confirm
Okay.
with Teresa.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the best option here.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, the concerns with the legs, that was an issue we've had like 2 or 3 meetings ago, which we had discussed. And it seemed like you guys are even fine with the 4-inch legs. We had since gone back, added 6-inch legs. It wasn't brought up at all the last hearing. We kind of focused more on the full water tank itself, which, it seemed like everyone was agreeing with, and the colors and whatnot. So the leg comment coming back again 2 hearings later has kind of caught us off guard a bit.
Well, wait a minute. Now, the question's not the sizing of the leg. I think we're satisfied with that you've increased the diameter and the visual impact of the legs. I think the question is that you haven't followed through on your construction documents, and that's what we needed for approval of a final. As several members have already pointed out, it's lacking that detail. We need that detail to approve the final. We can approve it preliminary, but we can't approve it final until you submit the proper detailing.
Understood. Okay, I will get the construction drawings to you guys for the next hearing.
Do we need a vote on preliminary?
Before we have a vote, I'd like to open this item up to public comment. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to make a statement on this item?
Yes, we do. We have Joy.
Joyce.
Okay, I'm slightly more prepared now, because I know about this project. It's right at the bottom of Rucker Road. My friend Karen has been coming in and speaking against it because it's right across from her neighbors, like 100 feet with no setbacks. So that's going to affect her property value. Cell towers do affect property values. They bring them down. Some people think like at least 20%. Some people think more. This is going to be right at the bottom of the road. So all my neighbors and me, when we go down there, we're going to have to drive by it. Again, I'm not sure about the radiation component. It seems like it might be dangerous from some research I've been doing. I do not want it. I worry about, it's right across from a state park. Again, the wildlife, is it going to have any effect on that? Last time we were here, they said, oh, well, 75 feet up is where the really bad radiation is. So, you know, I feel like that's going to, again, affect migratory birds. And I'm against it. You guys are really the most reasonable board in the county, I'm afraid. The Board of Supervisors are clearly in Verizon's camp. They want this. They are getting the money for it. North County is kind of where they dump a bunch of stuff, but I know the people in South County are fighting this as well. In fact, 40 people showed up at the Board of Supervisors meeting, and they basically just passed the ordinance anyway. They used to put this on firefighters' structures, you know, fire stations, but the firefighters union bought it and got it removed because it was making the firefighters sick. There's a bunch of trees right by there, so I guess we'll see if it kills the trees. I don't know. See if there's a bunch of dead animals. I know it's not good for me to come here and speak because, you know, the Board of Supervisors clearly wants that. And I don't feel like I have any representation. So here I am at North County again, trying to just air my views, and that's all I have to be able to do. I don't think planning is going to stop this either. So thank you.
Hi, thank you for your comments. I just want to remind everybody that per the NBAR bylaws, public testimony should relate to design issues of projects and findings that BAR can make. So I understand you have concerns about this telecommunications facility for other reasons. And so I ask that you please share those comments with the planner directly. Soren Krinkle's on now, and you can reach out directly to the planner or in other ways, but this is not really the appropriate way to share those concerns. So I just wanted to remind everybody of that. Thank you.
I will ask Soren if he will meet with me about these concerns. Thank you.
Happy to meet Joy, and I think we've emailed back and forth a couple times, so feel free to reach out to that email. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Armando, so with regards to your submittal, yeah, get us the construction level drawings. And we'll see you next month.
Understood. See you guys.
Well, I don't know that
We could.
we could vote on preliminary depending upon, I mean, the biggest voice for this whole thing was Jim, right? With regards to the aesthetic. Unfortunately, he's not here. If we grant preliminary approval now, then the only thing that's left is final. But if there's comments, again, with regards to sizing.
Well, that's not the applicant's.
Right, I mean, yes,
Jim wasn't here because he was ill. I mean, it's,
yeah, I get that.
I mean, he did increase them from the 4 to 6 inch.
And they took care of the tower.
We could just continue it for the next meeting, and that doesn't change anything for him. He's already.
That doesn't
in
change the
building.
timeline, right? Okay,
Agreed.
and then we can grant preliminary and final at the same time.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd be most comfortable just continuing it to the next meeting.
Okay,
Okay. I'm okay with that.
all right. So we'll, Armando, we'll continue this. You'll be agendized for preliminary and final on your next go around.
Understood.
Thank you. All right, let's move on to item number 3, BAR number 23-00062, the Desai Family Trust Single Family Dwelling and Attached Garage. If the applicant is available, please introduce yourself for the record and begin your presentation.
I'm Robert Adamus, the engineer of record for the project. We had an updated set of drawings uploaded to, it should be a full set of architectural drawings.
Is it these?
Yes.
It's a large file, so let me close all these other ones.
We're returning for a final approval. And at the last meeting, it was requested that we prepare architectural details. So this set of drawings does include those architectural details. There was a request with regard to some of the railing as well. And then an exterior lighting plan. So we will start with if you don't mind going to EXL1 and EXL2. They're quite a ways in there. So this is the exterior lighting plan. It lists all of the lights and their direction, which is downward. It shows the locations of them. That's EXL1, and then we have EXL2, which is the other elevation there. Then we have several details starting at the D sheets from D1. Showing the wall assemblies and showing the planter box, the water heater enclosure. Let's go to the next one, please. These were the decks and terraces. The dormer overhang. Let's go to the next, please. This is the railing and the staircases. This next one is a little bit light. Apologize for that. It didn't come out quite right with the print. Let's go on to the next, D4. So here we have all of our window, door, and jamb details, trim details. Let's go to D5. This is a solar, basically a skylight detail. And we have a fixed skylight at the garage. The next sheet, please. There we go. And then the next sheet is the railing, the guard railing. The next is also the guard railing. Then we have an awning. This is over the windows. And then D8, next sheet is our elevator tower. That's the tower. And then the next sheet is the actual particulars of the lift, which is a two-person lift by stilts.
Have these drawings been submitted for plan check?
They have not, no.
What's the material that you use for the railing? Is that shatterproof glass or plastic?
It is an aluminum railing at the base, and then the glass itself is tempered.
Did you do completely away with the containers? This was originally a proposed container. Did you keep any of them?
No, no containers as part of this. This is all
All standard.
standard lumber and light gauge steel
Steel
in
frame.
some instances. The framework for the elevator tower is red iron steel.
The only other question I had was, we had a comment, a few meetings back about the potential for access behind the house, on the opposite side of the house and behind, the opposite side of the house from the driveway. And, there was a question about a potential for an ADU. Is this an R3 lot?
That ADU has since been removed from the project.
So
The
there,
owners don't anticipate that.
no, yeah, there wasn't any access, and so I was just wondering about that, so.
That has been removed from the project.
I don't have any more questions.
Okay, with regards to this project, you've complied with most of the submittal requirements. And we can see your design intent for this. And at this point, I think we are comfortable with providing final comment on this. So with regards to what has been submitted, we would like to see, well, I'm not going to say that. We get where you're going with this. So at this time, does the board have any other additional comments you want to make?
These are your construction documents, then I would advise you to remove preliminary and not for construction.
So
Place of professional depth.
these are the in-bar presentation documents. They're not the construction.
Okay, well, in order for us to grant final approval, as indicated at our last meeting and as indicated in the requirements, we require construction level drawings at this time. So it's basically the same stuff you submit to the city or the county jurisdiction for review. That's what we get. So that gives us a little bit more background on how all the finishes and the trim and all that stuff comes together.
Yes, this doesn't include all of the retaining wall reinforcement details, fitting details.
Well, I mean,
It
that's
doesn't include
that's not our purview. What our purview is the exterior aesthetic. And if
From that perspective, I can say that we have accomplished our architectural package. And if we need to remove the preliminary not for construction for the architectural, then I'm okay with that. But I wanted to be very clear that this is not complete submittal because we don't include all of these structural details. I'm not going to go on record saying that.
again,
this
I mean,
includes all the structural details.
part of that, we have, it's construction level. You don't include the structural and framing as part of your N-bar submittal. What you do submit is detailed floor plans, elevations, referenced details on those plans so that we can see that what has been presented is been thought out, and that's what we're going to get. That it just backs up the elevations, it backs up the design of it. So that's what we are looking for. With that said, is there anyone in the audience that would like to make a comment on this particular project?
We do not have any public comment.
Okay. At this point, I'm going to ask for a motion to grant final approval on this project.
So moved.
All in favor? Second?
One second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Final approval has been granted.
Thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated.
Okay. Moving on to item number 4, BR number 23-00183, the Firebird Properties LLC Child Care Center. Is the applicant available?
Well, before we start on that, it shows as agendized for preliminary, but it should be final.
Yes. Was that just on the comments, correct?
Well, it's under the request from Frank Thompson of Firebird Properties LLC to consider case number blah, 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 for the government.
Preliminary review.
Should be for final review. Actually, we've already done that. And it's even noted on the bottom.
On the bottom.
Okay.
Under action taken that we granted preliminary approval.
Well, it says right there, so it may return for final. So
Yeah, but it's agendized
As preliminary. Hey, Gwen, are you there?
I'm here, yes.
With regards to how it's agendized and whether or not we can grant final approval,
Uh-huh.
is that going to be an issue?
Let me, can I get back to you? Can you guys proceed with your review and, I'm gonna look into it.
Okay, thank you. If you're ready, we're ready.
Frank Thompson, owner of
Give me a
Firebird
second.
Properties. I'm here with Pablo Romero, and he'll be giving the presentation today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. So we last came here on July and received preliminary, and some comments were issued to us, so we've addressed them since, and that's what we're coming back for. And basically the comments were centered around our elevation. So I would like to go to our elevation sheet. I think it's sheet 616 of the plans. Of the plan set, which is sheet A201. And that's where I'll start today's presentation. And of course, we can go back as needed. Previous one, if you please. There you go. So some of the first comment we got was relative to some of the band at the bottom. Let's call it the base, the stripe in color, which was not going down to meet grade. We've actually since revised the grading slightly. So basically the building is sitting on a flat platform. So there is no significant change. There are, I think, an inch or so of changes, but basically it's a flat platform that the building is sitting at. So that's since been removed. Basically the strip goes all the way to the bottom as is. And we can zoom in on the first drawing, upper left corner. So yeah, basically what we're seeing is a completely flat surface at the bottom, or significantly flat rather. So we've modified that. The other comment that we addressed was relative to the awnings facing south, which is on drawing number 2. We previously came with a fabric awning. We had heard comments, from you relative to the durability, permanence of such elements. And so we came back and revised that. So we've turned it into a wood-framed awnings with terracotta tile to continue with the architectural language of the rest of the building, and thus ensuring the durability, And we actually think it was an improvement in terms of the aesthetics and the connection of that south elevation with the rest of the building. Another comment we got was relative to the picket fence and the potential, pointy ends of the pickets being, again, potentially harmful to kids there. So if we can zoom in on drawing 6, please. On that same sheet, on detail 6, rather. I'm sorry. So the one on the top, 6 and 7 are the ones. So we've since removed on the typical fence. We've removed the point, the arrow points at the top, and the only place where we still leave some elements protruding is at the gate, but we're capping them with round toppings. So that's been completely addressed. And again, eliminating any potential risks of the kids getting access to the fence. And if we can go to the next sheet, please. Another one of the comments we got was relative to the treatment of the main facade, which was appreciated in our last presentation. And the direction was to carry on a similar treatment over to the east elevation, which is the point of connection with the playground. So if we can scroll down a bit. So what we're seeing here is the main elevation. So this is the secondary access elevation to the from the east side. And again, that's the point of connection from the main classrooms to the playground. And so we've carried on that that motif of applying some artistic feature there, a little bit more modest, but still keeping with the language and the theme, playful theme, colorful as well, and that we have in the front. So it does relieve, or it does turn the main presence of the main axis being the main axis, but this one is also still playful and so forth. So those are the significant changes that we made. Other than that is, of course, the grading was slightly modified, and that was a result of multiple things. This is also going through the rounds with stormwater and what have you. So because we had the comment here and other comments we were receiving on in terms of our grading, that was slightly adjusted in the result of this flat platform. So these are the comments that we've addressed since. So we're open for questions in regard to the approach that we've taken.
Can we see the grading plan?
Sure. I think that's the sheet number 5 on the file, which would be C1.2. Yeah, a few before that. That's the one.
Okay.
Can you zoom in just a little bit? So with the change to the pad, did it affect any of the slopes on the walkway between the construction pad and the parking lot?
The sidewalk remains the same. The grading in the sidewalk did not change.
Didn't change.
Yes, the sidewalk remained. It was basically let me rephrase that. The 5 feet wide strip next to the curb kept the same grading. It was the concrete beyond that point that was adjusted. So curb grading remained. We didn't change the grading on the curbs or on the pavement. That is already tied into the development of Brisa Encina on the right, and also to the adjoining point of connection on the left. So that didn't change. What changed was from from beyond that 5 feet wide sidewalk inward, that's where we modified rating slightly.
With regards to the aesthetic changes that you made, to the front area, do you have some details that we can see with regards to the wood connections underneath the overhangs?
We have not developed building construction details, CD level details. We have not developed those yet.
Okay. Okay. Does the board have any other comments at this time?
Yeah, I'd like to make a comment just as a concerned and interested participant in this process. And for me, this has been one of the more satisfying projects that we've worked on recently, mainly because the dialogue has been so genuine and open. And it has led to, I think, a really beautiful project. This building is lovely. It started with good intent, and it has ended up with a really beautiful looking project. And that's because we work together. Thank you. And
Much
happy
appreciated.
Thanksgiving.
Likewise.
How far off are you on the construction level drawings?
We typically start after zoning has been granted. That's when we start the CD process. However, detailing for the building south of this building is complete. We are in the third resubmittal, which the comments were, about EV parking, not about the building at this point, which is basically the same architecture that we're using here. The same finishes, the same materials are present here. So it wouldn't take us a long time to put together, if this is what is pursued of the board, it wouldn't take us a long time to put together a series of details to this effect.
Yeah, the column detailing, the wood connections at the entry, the wainscot around the building, and the windows. I mean, basically you have a pretty simple building. You can pull a lot of those details from the apartment plans directly onto yours.
Correct.
Yeah, because all once again, what we're looking for is just backing up of what you've presented to make sure that it all comes together and you've, thought of everything with regards to how it's going to end up looking. So if you can provide those, it's an easier path to final approval, right?
Understood.
So, unfortunately, you guys are agendized for preliminary review. We've already granted preliminary approval. So the next thing would be to provide those drawings as a part of this set so we can grant final.
Okay, and just so I understand, because this has not been typically the case, typically we get, approval on zoning, including NBAR or CBAR or wherever we're doing. And then, of course, this gets reviewed again during our building permit by planning and to confirm that it was consistent with what was approved here. So has there been a change in policy here? So just so I understand.
No, all it does is just back up what you presented with regards to all the exterior aesthetic of it. You can show us an elevation and you can say that you're going to do this. But we need to verify that you can actually do what you're intending to do. Those would be those simple details.
Think of it as the aesthetic implementation of your conceptual preliminary drawings.
Understood.
Yeah, because we have no issue with the aesthetic. We just want to make sure that what you presented is thought out well enough to be possible, right?
Feasible, right?
That also includes your planting and irrigation plans and any landscape lighting that you're doing.
Oh, so fully developed landscape, not just conceptual, fully developed landscape,
Yeah.
irrigation.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, that's all part of it.
understood.
Okay.
Hopefully could get on the December as well.
Yeah, and if that's, I mean, if you're just gonna pull details from the other plans, then chances are you'd be ready for a December meeting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we would be ready, yes. Landscape is another story, but I think we can pull it up. Yeah. Yeah, landscape is not developed beyond conceptual plans. But okay, understood.
Okay, perfect.
Great, thank you.
And hi, everybody, Gwen here. I just wanted to remind everybody, I did look into this and an item can't proceed for final if it was agendized for preliminary, which sounds like in this case works out anyway, because some of the details were not here today, but I just wanted to point that out for the future. Thanks.
So
Okay.
Gwen, quick
Yeah.
comment. Can you maybe advise the rest of the planners that on these final submittals, we do need complete construction documents so that
Yeah.
if it doesn't seem to be having been communicated to a number of different applicants today, whether it's the cell towers or some of the other things. And clearly, at the same time, clearly define, hopefully they know what construction documents are, but in some cases, there may not be that experience as design professionals, and some of that clarification would be helpful.
Yeah, right. We can definitely help message that. And I think that that information is also in the BAR application. So
Most
applicants
definitely
should,
is.
they should have that. But
They
for
should.
sure, we can definitely, thanks for that reminder. We can, it's always a good training for us planners. We got a lot to juggle.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is there anyone in the audience or online that would like to speak to this item?
Yes, we do. We have Joy.
Okay, I think I've got it now. I can't, there's a lot of stuff I can't speak on here for NBAR. There's a few things I'd like to bring up. This developer is relying on the original traffic study. I guess that goes to planning, right? Traffic is planning. It's not you guys. Is that what I'm understanding?
That's correct.
Okay, Soren, I'd really like to meet with you about, I have some concerns about the left turn that people are going to make when they leave this daycare and how it will affect traffic coming from Los Barros at 8 a.m. That's the elementary school, 8 a.m. and 2:30. I also have some concerns about the construction. Can I address those here? Yes?
Mhm.
Okay, this developer is, I can't talk about the enormity of the effect this is going to have on our neighborhood, but he has two developments, again, relying on the original traffic study. 49 units, I've lost track, like 50 units across the street. Then this daycare is the only thing that is subject to full review because of laws that they've passed in Sacramento, which automatically approve these kind of projects, supported housing, even though my neighborhood is not zoned, was originally not zoned for that. The concern I have with the construction is, and I'm quoting from a Newshawk article, he's putting $750,000 per unit. The construction is built off-site from foundation to roof, including the interiors. And in this meeting, they said they're going to do the same architecture on the daycare center. I'm just concerned that that kind of construction is kind of shoddy and is not going to be a good thing for the 50 children that they're planning on putting in that facility. So, Soren, are you on here?
Yeah, I'm on.
I'd also like to meet with you about that, maybe with some of my neighbors. I'm just really concerned about traffic and the construction.
Sure.
Would that be possible?
Yeah, I'd be happy to meet.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
Yes, if I may, relative to the construction, I won't speak about traffic, but relative to the construction, definitely foundation is built on site. There's no other way to do it. So this particular building is planned on stem walls, concrete stem walls. with crawl space underneath. That's the idea. We have, again, we haven't developed full structural drawings, but that is the concept that we're building upon. Yes, it is modular in its construction. The main elements are modular, built off-site, but then they are finished on-site. So all the stucco, the modules are built all the way to waterproofing membrane, and that's how they're delivered. And then on-site, we install roof structure, in this case, the mansard, and the roof tile is installed on-site. Waterproofing might or might not come semi-finished. That's kind of still up for debate, but there's a lot of work that happens on site. There's, of course, all the utility connections that need to be brought from the utility, wherever the points of connection are, to the building and then brought and tied into the building. So there are a series of connections that take place. And yes, this is the same way that we're building, we're designing Brisa Encina south of this development. And it's not different from the way apartment buildings from low income to market value apartments are being designed and built everywhere else in the country. LA in particular, here in Santa Maria, you've had some of these built, off-site, assembled on-site, and finished on-site. So you will not know that they are pre-manufactured if nobody tells you. They're going to look exactly like they were built on site. So they're not going to be shoddy or, cheap looking or anything like that. They will be first quality buildings. So.
Okay, thank you. Does the board have any comments at this time?
Just one. I want to thank you for that comment. We are all involved in construction, and so we're mostly familiar with the way that products are built off-site and brought on-site, and it's not uncommon. They can be built more efficiently and with less waste and be done just as good or better as stuff built in the field. So we appreciate your comments on that.
Thank you. So last thing, we just work with your planner to get everything that you need for final. Okay. With that,
Would you like them to come back final consent or full board?
full board.
Full board.
Okay. So with that, we'll move on to item number 5 on today's agenda, BR number 2500100, the LeBlanc signage. Is the applicant available? If
Yes,
so,
I am here.
Introduce yourself for the record and begin your presentation.
Yes, my name is Aaron Hamilton. I'm representing George LeBlanc, owner on record for the site at 290 Bell Street. We're hoping to install some new signage for the existing refueling station there. Adding a fuel brand where it used to only say gas or no markings at all on the canopy.
Okay. Do you have elevation?
We have 2 different options for the canopy. We wanted to provide, this is our first choice, adding the colors to the canopy, painting over the existing wood, keeping the wood. And then we also have another option where we put signage over top of the natural wood. Option A in our site plan is our preferred option. And then obviously B would be our second.
Your signage require any changes to the structure or
No.
additional?
No. The electrical for the canopy would be being pulled off of the existing lighting.
Are there any? Do we have a red?
And also this station's closed at night. It's not a 24-hour station.
It looks like in Plan B that the only signage is on yes, not on the canopy. Is that correct?
I got someone muted me just then. I don't know what happened there. On sheet 5 there, unfortunately our art doesn't reflect it, but if we go back to sheet 4, we do have signage on the canopy there, but it's kind of hard to see because of the colors on the brown wood, and obviously in real life it'd be a little more visible.
So Aaron, how is this canopy framed? Is it wood posts? Is it all framed out of wood?
No, that's an iron post in the middle, an I-beam.
Okay.
Aaron, this is
Yes.
Teresa. Do you have the video running in the background?
No videos.
Because we're getting echo.
It's only when he's, because not like if you say some, do you want to talk on the microphone?
Yeah, I mean, it seems better now.
Yeah, it's because I muted him, so there's something in his background.
Mm. Okay.
So I just asked that when you're not speaking, if you can mute yourself, please, Aaron.
I can mute when I'm not talking, yes.
Thank you.
So the only changes between your option A and option B is that you're going to paint the wood on option A and you're going to leave the wood on option B. All the signage is basically the same, right?
Right. Correct.
Did you give any thought to the fact that this particular color, this turquoise color, is basically not evident anywhere else in town? It's not sort of part of the community color palette, so to speak?
This is the color that the owner has for the Alpha Fuel brand. So we wanted to try and stick with the theme of the brand. We felt it was fairly close to the blue that might be down the street at the Chevron there. Obviously, it's for your decision if the color we are presenting is usable or not.
I mean, the Chevron station was built, I think, before there was architectural review up in the area. It's a very old station, but I mean, I live at this corner up the street and I pass by this every day several times. And I'm just thinking that the darker wood with something a little bit less ethereal than this blue, even though it is maybe the trade color, does it necessarily have to be that color on the canopy? I mean, we've addressed this before in other projects. I mean,
well, I think it would be helpful if we could see the actual building and how this relates to that building.
Right.
I'm not necessarily opposed to the color, but I'd like to see a sample of what it's actually made out of. It's just going to be paint, so that's going to weather and fade over time. Perhaps there's another material that would be that might work just as well.
We were trying to stick with the wood because we noticed as we looked at the rest of the street that a lot of the sites there, the buildings and stuff are wooden. And part of, I think, what makes it unique there is that it does have that kind of aged wood historical appearance.
Okay,
And then also, if you were to scroll down to sheet 11, we have a view of the canopy as it is with the wood.
oh, okay. That is helpful. So Aaron, my question was more what the material of the actual letters are. It looks like is it an aluminum channelized letter?
Correct. Yeah, they are channel letters.
Okay. Thank you.
And to be clear, the signage that you're involved with is just on the canopy and the fuel pumps. Is that correct? Everything else is gonna basically stay the same.
No, we are also going to be doing a reface of the fuel pricer. And then on this, in the middle image here where it says gas, we're going to change that to the Alpha Fuel logo.
And that's all part of this project. That's all part of this package that you submitted.
Yes, it is.
Where would that be?
Do you have visuals of that? How the change will look?
I'm sorry, what was that?
I mean, what I'm looking at right now is the original signage as it exists now with the gas and the Collins Market, and then the pricing panel. And do you have visuals of what they will look like when they're changed?
Yes, so on sheet 8, we have the pricer.
So that is going to be digitized now?
We are hoping so, yes. On sheet 9, we presented a tile pricer option as well.
Secondary choice looks more in character with the neighborhood, I think, than a digital sign.
Yeah, that's, we were kind of anticipating that, which is why we included it, but we wanted to see if we would be able to get approved the digital pricer for the sake of being able to more easily change the pricing.
Understand, and it's just significantly different, and it's kind of an important spot in town, either coming in or leaving, that it kind of has, you know, that slightly homier feeling. And I get what you're trying to do. It's probably a heck of a lot easier, but I think it would look better. I mean, you know the town, and there's a lot of sensitivity to signage. Sometimes it's made an issue, sometimes it's not, but I think this could be, and would like to see this, you know, work out well for you.
Personally, I would agree with that statement. I think the tile pricer is more in theme.
Well, with regards to the submittal that you've got in front of us, I think right now you're agendized for conceptual review, which is fine. As you move forward through the process, you know, I think you guys should make the determination as to what you want to present rather than, you know, I appreciate the fact that you gave us some options for this level of review, but as we move forward, we're just going to pick one. And then you're going to kind of build on that.
Okay, that sounds like what we were hoping for.
Does the board have any other questions or comments at this time?
Real quick, we didn't bring up the guest on sheet 10. You can see the logo for that would be replacing the gas section of that sign.
Is that, excuse the crazy question, but is that part of a deal with the gas company or with Alpha Fuel? Because, I mean, the original sign really has charm to it. It's almost like I'd hate to see it be changed, to just have another place to put a logo. If there are going to be, you know, I mean,
I believe it's the property owner that is hoping to have everything fuel related to be the Alpha theme. And, you know, our job is to present what the owner is hoping for and then make adjustments as required.
and that would be my suggestion, though, that it be kept as original as possible with the modifications that you need to make for signage, particularly in light of the maintaining the original rustic wood canopy, which is terrific, by the way. I like it a lot. I like the idea of maintaining it, but it's sort of, this is right next to it. And it would be nice to make sure that the cohesion of the historic elements are maintained as best they possibly can. That's kind of the effort made in all of the signage in town.
Michael, can you, it's hard for me to tell because I don't recall the sign. Is that spherical or is it a flat plane?
It's sort of
Like a lollipop
it's
almost?
a
Or
flattened sphere, like a lollipop.
like a sucker type of thing? Okay, gotcha.
Now, is it your intent to keep the shape and just merely change the logo and the color?
Yes, we hope to obtain the same shape.
Just change the character of the signage.
It's kind of a nice throwback now.
Pardon me?
Kind of a nice to have that throwback effect.
Absolutely. I mean, anytime you can maintain original signage, it's always best when you're trying to maintain authenticity in a Western town.
I'd support Michael's comments too, but I'd also like to see some of the wood elements introduced into the signage, the pricing signage, to make it all consistent so that it all reads as one project. And superimposing that A with the teal color, it doesn't tell anybody what's there. I would look at it and wonder what that is.
Okay, I can see that.
Add the G and the S on it.
Yeah.
That's kind of an interesting idea. Are you thinking maybe to either side of the A, put a G and an S and then try and keep it in the same theme as the existing sign?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, specifically for that lollipop sign out front.
Really some food for thought.
If I had my way, I would suggest you just to paint the letters GAS, the teal, if you wanted to keep that color, or maybe the band around it or something, but keep it looking that rustic element that it is, because it has a lot of character. It tells people exactly what's being sold there.
Yeah, I could appreciate that. Of course, you guys were it was brought up the color teal. So if the teal color will be something we can go with, and we can certainly approach that.
I'm just offering that as a compromise. You know, that it's up to you how to work it out, but you kind of get the feeling from us that we like the rustic element, the old function that it had, that it tells people exactly what's there without a lot of fluff to it, and it keeps the character of that area, that corner. And you could tie that together real easily with the building, the canopy, and make it all cohesive for you.
Okay.
Given that, you know, over time, you may be changing or modifying the front of the building, who knows? Things change, they need to be painted, they need to be, you know, refurbished. It would be a lot easier to keep the character of the building starting with the signage and just following it through, rather than starting to modify whatever's in the front of the building to look like the newer signage. You know, this is one of those opportunities to really, I think, make this kind of special. And by keeping the character and, like you said, introducing the touch of the color, but not changing the character. I mean,
Yeah, we can, now, as for the building and that kind of stuff, I wouldn't be able to say too much. But I'm definitely grasping what you're saying about trying to apply this brand while thoroughly maintaining the the rustic tone of it. I'm curious if we were to go to sheet 2, what would your thoughts be if instead of doing the teal color on the canopy, if we only did the white to provide that contrast between the signage and the canopy, and then have it break back to the wood, raw wood, to try and maintain some of that rustic, but still have the a little more of the brand image.
the proposed change is so dramatically different from what is existing. And if what is existing is most in character, it would seem to be sensible to blend the two in a way that maintains the historical look, the traditional look. I mean, all the white signage and the teal blue signage on what you're proposing is so stark. Particularly with, you know, the lollipop sign, as we're calling it now. Sorry about that.
I think that's a great description.
You know, we're just trying to help make this as successful as possible. And I think to set that canopied area, the gas loading area, the gas pumping area, to make it look so completely different from the rest of the building, which is all wood or shingles. You look at the two, one above the other, and the one that looks the warmest and the most inviting is the one that is the way it is right now. Just perhaps refinishing it.
I can understand that. How about on sheet 2? Of course, when we render this stuff, it's hard to really convey what it would look like once it's been painted. But I think if we toned it down without the pillars being painted white and left them that rusty tone, I think that would help tone things down. We could also do some similar to the bollards, leave them that kind of the brown color, to dial back the change in the canopy area. And then as for the pricer, we could potentially do, instead of the edging in white, we could put a wood tone as close as we can to match the pillars or posts in the canopy area as well.
I'd love to see an next iteration of this.
Well, we should.
For sure.
I mean, he's agendized for conceptual right now, so. As it is agendized for conceptual, I mean, these are all suggestions. I think we've given you plenty of information, of a little bit of background as well.
Right, and I'm just trying to gather up as much of what I can from you guys so that I know what would be.
Is he there?
Austin?
He's on there, but
Maybe he muted himself.
he's not muted.
Okay.
Gwen, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you guys. I
Okay.
can't hear Aaron.
Okay, thank you.
Aaron, can you hear us? We lost you. Doesn't look like you're muted, but we can't hear you if you're talking. Oh, hi, Aaron. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Did I?
Okay,
look
great.
out
I think
there?
maybe we just lost you for a little bit, but we can hear you now.
Okay. I don't know if I was speaking when it cut out or not.
Aaron, are you local to the area? I can't
Uh,
see your address.
I work remote for the company. I'm up in northern San Luis Obispo County.
So the Paso, Atascadero area, maybe Templeton or something?
Lake Nacimiento specifically.
Okay, well, then you get the idea of how people feel about their towns around here and keeping the character like Templeton and Paso. And so, I'm sure at some point you'll drive through Los Alamos, but you can understand what people are looking for and get an idea of that.
Absolutely, and definitely not looking for ugly cell towers.
Attaboy, stay for the whole meeting. So, I mean, you've heard all of our suggestions. Um, you kind of know where we'd like to see this go. So,
Yeah, I based on what you've been mentioning this meeting for this project, I think I can better present the options to my team and come up with a much more suitable brand change to keep
Okay.
the rustic theme and stay in, well, to match the community as a whole as well.
right. Okay. Yeah.
There's a lot of good guidance in the community plan too that you could look up.
Yeah, and a lot of it is too, the owner has his ideas on what he wants to be doing, and sometimes we just need to have that feedback from the various boards or community authority so that we can go back to the customer and say, what you're hoping for is not quite what the community's hoping for.
And the owners are not strangers to the neighborhood, so they should understand that pretty well.
I would certainly hope so.
Thank you.
All right. Again, these are merely suggestions. As you are agendized for conceptual, no decisions will be made today with regards to any kind of approvals in any way. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to this item?
We do not have any public comment.
Okay. Then you heard what we had to say. Go ahead and meet with your team, meet with the owner, and see what you can do for this.
We will do so, and I appreciate your feedback on this. I'm looking forward to providing a better option.
Well, thank you very much.
Hi, Gwen here. I may have missed it, but did you specify which approval this would return for?
We have not.
Okay, it's okay if you didn't. I wasn't sure if you did. The planner can coordinate and agendize it for next time.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. All right. With that being the last item on today's agenda, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn this meeting. Second? Oh, but
And this is kind of off the wall, but I mean, we've had so many people who've come to speak publicly here about things that aren't within our purview. I'm just curious how that gets conveyed to anyone in advance, what the purview is of this group, so that they don't waste their time. Our time, we'll just listen to them. It's not that big a deal. But I mean, having been to county supervisor meetings, when you show up with significant numbers, you are heard. When you show up here, it falls on deaf ears. It's just not helpful. I mean, I understand the concern about the cell towers and the proliferation of cell towers and such. We can't do anything about it. And it seems that it's unfortunate to even encourage that kind of discussion here without maybe saying up front, don't do that, or this is the format, this is what we're looking at. I mean, show up at the county. I mean, they can actually do something.
Well, I appreciate the sentiment behind that, but I also have to say that in a lot of times, if applicant or audience members and feels that they aren't being heard, they
Mhm.
can just voice that.
Yeah.
It gets recorded into
Yep.
the record.
I'm aware.
Planners, hear what they're saying and they can better communicate with the appropriate boards for that. And while I appreciate their passion about it, you know, they have a certain amount of time.
So I guess that just brings up a natural question then. When planning hears those comments and it goes on the record, is it something that is actually carried to a planning meeting and discussed, or is it just something that is in the record?
Well, in this case, for the comments that were made on the telecommunications facilities, for instance, what I'm going to do with that information is just share that internally with my team. I wouldn't necessarily bring that to the planning commission as a comment, but I would just share that this is a comment that we received, just sort of as an FYI for our team, because this is just important for us to understand what the community is discussing. But I completely agree that an appropriate place for those kinds of comments would be the planning commission or the board. And they always have an opportunity to listen to public comment on items that are not on the agenda. So I think that would be an appropriate place. And then again, also just coordinating with the planner directly on project specific things. If it's more of a general comment, like concerns about these telecommunications facilities, then I would say the planning commission or the board are better outlets for that. Does that help?
It was my understanding she did attend.
Couldn't hear that comment very well. What was that?
I think she did attend those meetings as well.
Yeah, that's good.
And I think
That's-
it's just bred out of frustration as much as
Yeah, and I understand. I don't really have an answer for if we're proactively informing members of the public about how they can comment. I can look at our bylaws and our website and see if that's something that we're sharing with the public, just so that they're not wasting their time or anybody else's time by discussing that here.
One thing I'd like to suggest is if we know that's coming, we can tell that person that wants to speak, you have 3 minutes. And let them have their 3 minutes so that they're concise and stuff. When this Brisa Encina project came, and I think Bobby, you were probably there, we had an overflow crowd.
Mhm.
And we went on for a couple of hours, but I held everybody to 3 minutes. They all understood it and they were happy. They got their 3 minutes. And I had people come up to me after the meeting, thank you for letting me speak and let my voice be heard.
There you go.
Yeah, so in a follow-up comment to what you said, we've had this ongoing discussion ever since I've been on the board. And it's always been, hey, we have a certain purview. And I think in the past, Michael and I've had the same little discussion. You basically have to let these people have their 3 minutes. It's part of the process. It's good that Gwen comes and says, these guys' purview is architectural. Hopefully they understand that they can talk about other stuff and it does go to weight. I mean, in all honesty, the more people that mention problems, if it's the same problem, the more weight it carries in the community. One is a little weight, 100's gets to be a force. So we have to hear whatever they have to say. But I think it's helpful that they know, look, you're kind of at the wrong spot. But again, the more people that hear it, the more people they hear, and the more people that hear are concerned, the more people look into it. And then, so it's a difficult thing to tell somebody, hey, look, you can only talk about architectural points. We can only talk about architectural points, obviously, because that's what we were employed to do. However, these people that come, they get their 3 minutes and, that's, we can tell them, look, we can only make a decision based on architect. But by the same token, you don't want to discourage them from voicing their opinions and letting, sometimes things, it's not the norm, but sometimes things that we didn't know or the community didn't know turns out to be something that is actually more important than we ever thought it was.
apropos of the cell towers,
Mhm.
which, I mean, the elephant in the room continues to be, has there been any evidence whatsoever to show that they're dangerous or that they're not dangerous? I mean, it seems like it starts and ends there.
We don't,
And planning
It-
is not going to be looking at environmental issues. So where does that start? How does that fit in? I mean,
So
I
just to
think
clarify, yeah,
planning does
planning,
have a whole circle of
Planning-
all of these things.
Planning
that-
does look at environment.
They look at a total scope, you know, and I think they're doing their due diligence to try and take into, you know, all of the parts and pieces of all these people's concerns in whatever science that can back them up. You know, if there's no science, there's nothing, but, you know,
I think the biggest concern for me on the cell towers is the appropriateness of some of these locations. I can't even understand why you put it in an area where you only get 30 feet of clearance above the
Right.
adjacent road, whether you got hills all around you, which would seem to be a more likely place. And, you know, I mean,
yeah. I mean, it just seems like the number one element that comes for review these days is cell towers.
I see a lot of them.
And I understand that the public is a little afraid of them. I get it, because it's talked about it, and, you know, in my town, it's talked about in a lot of towns.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's an unknown.
Okay.
So,
Well, I appreciate the discussion,
We know you guys gotta.
so I'd like to move this along a little bit. Can I get a motion to?
and
close the
actually,
meeting?
sorry, can I say one more thing, separate? I want to just revisit something I mentioned earlier on during my staff update about the upcoming Planning Commission workshop. It's on December 3rd, and it's on a general zoning ordinance amendment package, and I believe some of the amendments may be related to design review. There's also going to be the Recreation Master Plan workshop. So that's what I wanted to clarify. I had mentioned that earlier on in the meeting. So encourage anybody who wants to tune into that meeting. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can I get a second?
second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving. Bye.